Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, host Imperial Dane, a 1 vs 1 of HQ on Kholodny Ferma. On the farms, we shall be watching Mr. 0hmaddon fighting for the Soviet Union for the 25th Tank Corps, going up against Armyguy. Yeah, decent Armyguy fighting for the 100th Jäger Division. Grenadiers on the way, 1 Pioneer start, and a bunch of lovely conscripts are running for 0hmaddon on the other hand, and not north, not south, but heading towards the center so far by the looks of it. Mr. 0hmaddon's combat engineers aren't pronounced and actually heading north, so never mind then. Grenadiers almost done, point there being secured. Where shall the conscripts head? I wonder, but looking at doctrines, we've seen joint operations, lightning war, and Jäger armor doctrine out for Armyguy, and for 0hmaddon we've seen guard motor coordination, guard rifle, and anti-infantry tactics. Now that one is more interesting, but let's pop back to Armyguy for the time being to see whatever he shall be up to. First Grenadier Squad arrived, second unit will be another Grenadier Squad, conscripts arriving there, securing the central victory point pretty early on. Looks like both players will then be heading in separate directions, one south, one north. Getting the fuel.
It is ours.
So far so good.
How can we help?
6 squad of Grenadiers, and looks like we are seeing much more of a spread. In fact, from 0hmaddon, 1 squad of conscripts in north, while the rest are focusing in the north, but still he's sort of going for more of a fanning out movement. Whereas we do see a more focused approach from Armyguy initially. First engagement is set, and there we go, conscripts versus pioneers. The pioneers quickly pull back as clumsily as they can out negative cover, actually taking quite a bit of damage from that initial engagement. And an MG42 pops out for Armyguy. What shall be his next move be? I wonder. More conscripts for 0hmaddon. Northern points being secured. Going for the munitions. Grenadiers heading towards the center. MG42 also looks like it's heading that way. Let's go. Conscripts arriving there. And there we go. Conscripts versus Grenadiers, and the Pioneer Squad actually ooh-rahing away. Apparently not feeling too confident in their situation. Actually seeing that he's leaving the cover, going after them, being drawn into what is apparently a trap. Here's another squad of conscripts await. And being caught out in negative cover, he needs to pull back or get into some cover very quickly. But something needs to be done quickly. The Grenadiers are already taking some nasty damage. Point here being secured. Conscripts sneaking up about. They could take up position in the church, fighting down on the Grenadiers. Things are getting a bit hectic, a bit dangerous. Pioneers rushing ahead. Grenadiers providing support, but casualties are being inflicted. And there we go, 2 squad of conscripts and the Grenadiers, but the Grenadiers are actually in cover right now. The conscripts being moved across open ground, in fact some negative cover, which could give the Grenadiers a small advantage since already the conscripts are down to half health. This could very well be an advantage to the Grenadiers in that engagement. MG42 setting up support here, Pioneers retreating. Things all of a sudden going a bit sour for the Soviets. And there we go, the half-health conscripts versus the mostly fully health Grenadiers are actually losing. The advantage gained here proved to be quite advantageous to the Grenadiers. It looks like the conscripts will soon be forced to retreat here for 0hmaddon. No, he might lose a squad already. And there we go, a slight fumble. After another fumble has rather allowed the Germans to gain a slight advantage here. Although combat engineers are soon going to have the upper hand, the Grenadiers will need to retreat, otherwise this is going to be a bit of a waste for Armyguy. And there we go, a lot of wounded men in the wake of this bloody melee. Skirmish, whatever. MG42 going up pretty aggressively. Armyguy playing incredibly aggressive with his MG42. Needs to be careful, and in fact setting up a bit too late. The conscripts could right past. No! Oh dear, looks like some other order was given. The MG42 packed up. Sadly, you can't actually sort of cancel an other order, it seems. Sometimes, or well, perhaps there is. I just missed the way of doing it. But sometimes you can out of accident the order to do something else while it's setting up, and then you try to stop, but it doesn't. And comedies with flamethrowers. MG42 in trouble here, getting burned away. Also noting a special right command has actually appeared, and a scout car for 0hmaddon. MG42 flying away, but at the combat engineers with the rifles, not with the ones with the flamethrowers. This is not looking good. Grenadiers moving up. Rifle grenade away. Nice hit on one combat engineers, but ultimately not enough. The MG42 will need to vacate the premises down to one man. Grenadiers will also need to consider getting out of there. Or at least there we go. Panzer fasting before retreating. And MG42 cleared out. Very aggressive move there from Armyguy, but ultimately backfired on him, meaning things are rather all of a sudden in the advantage of 0hmaddon all of a sudden. Since while he might have lost a squad of conscripts, he on the other hand handed an MG42 to him. So that's a bit of a problem. The only thing that Armyguy has going in his advantage is the fact that he's holding more on the map. But already having teched up as well pretty aggressively with only 2 grenadiers and an MG42, we are instead seeing a scout car like the Panzer Speerwagen has arrived from a nearby Panzer Grenadier unit, being upgraded with auto cannons, and we're seeing a sniper following up there. Troops playing up position in the church. Auto cannon up. And that Soviet scout car is going to be in trouble, and there we go. And next victims could be the combat engineers, they're in fact low on health already, so all of a sudden things are very quickly switching about again. This is some pretty quickly changing engagements we're seeing here in the initial few minutes. Pretty aggressive play from both of them. Pretty all in some regards. Grenadiers here need to get away, pinned already by the MG42 in the church. And scout car here continues to do a lot of damage, catching some conscripts out in the negative cover again. Negative cover means your troops actually are easier to hit and take more damage. At least from what I know. Either way, really nice aggressive use here. But, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Moved ahead too aggressively. And got caught here. Nice using the true sight, of course, to hide something. And ambush the scout car. Well done. Less well done there by Armyguy, who might now end up losing it. Although it looks like another scout car went down. The carnage continues. But I fear for not much longer. And there we go. 222 is down. Kaput. In the meanwhile, Sniper doing what he can from the cover of some haystacks. With his scoped Gewehr 43. In the meanwhile, we also see some pretty aggressive harassment from the Pioneers up north, but all of a sudden we are noting that Mr. Armyguy is very, very low on units. But so is the Soviet play. I mean, again, this has been some very aggressive play, some very bloody play from either player, or both players, I suppose, would be more accurately in terms of grammatics. Scout car on the way. Panzer Gunner's equipment next. Pack 40 could might also be an idea. I mean, both players are playing pretty aggressively. On the other hand, we have seen 2 scout cars from the Soviet player, so obviously some fuel usage has been occurred. Of course, also anti-tank grenades, so he doesn't have to worry so much about armor right away. And in that sense, the Panzer Grenadiers would be the safer choice. Scharfschütze. And there we go, going for the fuel point, going for the lifeblood. And there we go, in fact, a squad of Panzer Grenadiers on the way. And there we go, another scout car moving in, also upgrading it with the autocannon just in case. Sniper moving up, staying in cover, guten Arbeit. Aggressively hunting down the opponent. Oh, hang on. And sorry about that, accidentally pressed the wrong button. Things went a bit sour after that. My apologies. A slip of the finger on my behalf. But pretty aggressive. And there we go. Grenadiers caught in the MG42. Panzers might be moving in. Sniper and scout car doing what they can down here in the south. Pretty nasty work there. Pioneers running a dangerous game with the conscripts up there, looking to perhaps delay them a bit, but oh, instead running straight into their arms, and this might be the loss of Armyguy's Pioneer squad. Oh dear, scout car too close, too close! Oh dear, no idea why he kept it this close, and there we go, scout car down. That was pretty much a huge waste. There we go, down. Sniper needs to get away. Pretty exposed. No, he's actually moving out in the open. That's a bit of a bad idea. Armyguy, though, definitely fumbled right there. Perhaps not concerning true son again, the fact something could sneak up. And there we go. Oh! Oh! MD42 tried to move ahead, and conscripts got wiped out. Panzer's managed to flank the MD42. This is all of a sudden going very wrong for Armyguy in return. Or Armyguy. What a silly name. Out of the way. Very brutal engagements. Heavy losses being all of a sudden sharply inflicted on either side. Definitely brutal stuff.
Your orders, comrade.
And recruiting the MD42 with the Panzer gunner is a bit expensive, although I suppose on the other hand you do get an excellent MD cruise, and of course the support gunners will still have their assault rifles to protect the entire thing, which rather means it's going to be difficult to deal with compared to a regular MD42. And we are seeing a Tankovy battalion going up. No doctrine as of yet for him. Another squad of grenadiers for Armyguy. A bit of quiet here, as the Panzer Grenadiers wonder how it came to this, and if he got a good enough shave. And we are in fact seeing here that Mr. Armyguy is now getting worried about some armor, and thus getting a pack 40, so it's advancing into the center in nice formation. And there we go, Tankovy Battalion Command up. He could very soon get a T-34-76 if he so decided. Conscript squad up north, and a lot of choppers encounters 3 squads of Grenadiers. 3 command points, by the way, available. Sniper here needs to retreat. He's going to get directly rushed. And there we go, T-34-76 on the way for the 25th Tank Corps. Going pretty aggressively for the fuel. Clearly wants to harass it. Clearly wants to keep it out of his opponent's hands. And this MD42 is about to get outflanked. There you go, MD42 is trying to turn about. The Panzer Grenadiers might be able to buy it some time. Oh, Storer in front of it. And there we go, MD42 and Sturmgewehrs doing the trick. Oh, flamethrower tank bursting straight on the MD42 gunner. That's quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate, but causing havoc in the north while the Soviets are causing havoc in the south. And there we go, the T-34 arrives.
Unit count is increasing. Enemy forces are attempting to
Rolling ahead in the name of the Rodina. A Jaeger division, by the way, was a semi-motorized infantry division, more meant for offensive work. Wasn't quite so good on the defensive. Besides that, though, I don't think they actually had any sort of more particular hallmarks than a regular infantry division. Conscripts are rushing ahead, trying to cover the sniper here. Sniper needs to get away. Sniper needs to get away. Oh, went down. Some all of a sudden pretty accurate marksmanship from the conscripts. Made short work of him. T-34 versus the Grenadiers. Grenadiers need to panzer fast quickly. And there we go. Grenadiers getting wiped out pretty viciously. Although they did manage to bring the T-34 down to half health.
Waiting for your command.
Points being secured. Pack 40 moving up. MD42 needs to be enforced.
T-34, our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Point secured. T-34 was certainly easy to maintain and fix. That was one of its more redeeming features.
You have orders?
Pioneers in trouble with the conscripts. Heinz, I don't think we are made for this. And certainly they aren't. And in that case, Armyguy really should consider just getting them the bloody hell out of there.
Fresh meat has arrived.
He could also consider getting a T-70 light tank for more harassment-like duties, or perhaps a half-track to quickly shift troops about to provide some on-the-field reinforcement. That would definitely also be an opportunity. And a thought. Another squad of Panzer Grenadiers in response to the T-34. Interesting, interesting. No doctrine still, though, from Armyguy. He could definitely consider either something like Guards Motor Coordination, Guards Rifle and Combined Arms, or even anti-infantry tactics. Each would have their advantage, although, I mean, if he's going to go for a lot more tank, scout motor would be the best, since there'd be stuff like marked vehicle and vehicle crew repair training, sort of get the most out of it, plus, of course, the opportunity of T-34-85s. Guard infantry could also help, and of course, the heavy mortar could help with some more entrenched German positions. This one, of course, could be nice, but I don't think it'll work so nicely with a lot of T-34s. And in that case, it really needs to rely more on Guards rather than infantry for buttoning up and such. Anti-infantry tactics would certainly be more about clearing out all the infantry supporting the enemy armour, and could certainly also be useful. Shock troops, flamethrower tanks, fear propaganda could be used to actually neutralise a pack, I believe. So some possibilities there. Already 4 kills on the T-34. Japan's going to slowly closing in, they're under fire, and there we go, Bun Grenade goes off, Geballdeladung, and a nice chunk of conscripts dead. Pack 40 on the other hand got a nice hit on the rear of the T-34. Advancing German infantry, although a bit clumped up, could make themselves a nice target for the T-34. There we go, another kill.
We have a new unit.
Conscripts running support from a nearby position. More conscripts moving in from the south. Infantry continues to advance within the range of the T-34. Not a good idea. And we could see a Panzer escort go down for Armyguy. Ruksuk. But no, he lost the squaw. A bit unfortunate. Conscript squad here taking huge losses. T-34 rolling in. And a grenadier down. T-34's doing what they can. And there we go, continuing to inflict some nasty losses upon the fascists. Already turned kills on the 2 T-34s, that's going to be a bit expensive.
We are taking fire! Engineer standing by.
And a small infantry force going to push south, going to break in there, force the Germans to provide some attention there, that's good. That is good. The centre on the other hand is going to be a bit of a tricky thing. I'm going to require a lot more T-34s to really, safely push through, if you want to do that. Still no doctrine though, still no doctrine. I can't help but feel that's a mistake from 0hmaddon. Nice move there from the Panzers, they're getting into the building. That's going to make them much harder to deal with for the armour. So not a bad idea there at all. But it looks like he's actually abandoning the building pretty quickly. I wonder why. I wonder why. And looks like he's just going to wreck the building to ensure the Germans can't use it any further. And there we go, making good progress in the south. While the Germans, on the other hand, are making a bit of progress in the north, also noting a fuel cache up for 0hmaddon. And what the hell's happening here? Looks like all the debris is being pulled in a certain direction. Holy fuck.
The enemy has found us!
That's definitely the first time I've seen that.
The PPSHs have arrived!
Apparently someone's been up to some sort of unholy science on this field.
Good work, comrades.
Not sure how else to describe all of this. Oh, good lord.
Forces are attempting to capture our territory.
That just looks wrong. Oh, managed to catch the MD-412 guard with the conscripts down south. Well done, well done. It's even happening to the corpses. Oh, and we are seeing guards have combined arms. I mean, with all the T-34s he's getting, I don't really think that's going to be the best choice. In particular, if his opponent gets any kind of armor, then guards motor really would have been the best choice. But alas, the question is, can he then at least utilize this? And in which case, I mean, the best thing to work with the T-34s would be guards rifle infantry with light machine guns to help button up any enemy armor and make it easier for the T-34s to knock it out.
Supply lines have been cut. Combat engineers are standing by.
Centre's being left untouched by the T-34s. That's probably a good move. Nice 5 great near, and there we go. 2 T-34s springing a trap upon the Grenadiers. Finding away both the gun. Panzerfaust goes off though. And of course in that regard, you know, Guard's motor will also provide self-repair, which could quickly pull back that T-34 into the fight instead of having to wait for some combat and to do the trick. Oh, looks like a nice push in the centre. It's collapsed. The Pack 40 is being sent away. The T-34s can now roll in. Infantry following up. Nice assault, nice assault. At least he's got enough conscripts to really warrant Guard's rifle combined arms. They'll equip them with submachine guns, but I think Guard's motor might be better with all the T-34s. Yes, really getting the most out of them. Of course, I could be wrong, so let's see how it actually works out. MG42 taking up position building, and there we go. Pack 40 gets spotted by the T-34s. Crew is suffering. Bad news for Armyguy and the 100th Jaeger Infantry Division. Popping out to Armyguy again, who's gone for lightning war and looks like he's about to get a Tiger tank. Clearly that was part of his strategy. Relying on a heavier tier 1, tier 2 structure and then going for the Tiger tank. The Tiger awaiting the arrival of a schwerer Panzerabteilung, and there we go. That's definitely going to be bad news. And there we go, the Tiger arrives. Achtung, Achtung, schwerer Panzer. And that's definitely going to be a bit of a nasty surprise for the T-34s. There we go, and of course now, with ramming having been nerfed so it doesn't actually result in every time the main gun being knocked out, I mean, people are going to be a lot more cautious about it, and that's definitely going to make the Tiger tank a lot more useful. But certainly, I mean, using the Tiger tank against... Oh! There we go, anti-tank grenade! Damaging the engine, which actually meant it penetrated. T-34 abandoned. This one, though, might consider just getting out there for the time being. They're going to need a lot of numbers to really take on the Tiger. And probably shouldn't remain right in front of the Tiger tank. And there we go. Leaving the battlefield. In the face of the mighty Tiger. Another T-34 actually rolls in, though. Pretty bold. And takes a direct hit. Also noting here, this T-34 has been abandoned. It could be recruited and be used against the Bolsheviks. In the meanwhile, though, we're also noting here it's not just about one engagement, it's about engagements all over the place. While 0hmaddon might be losing one place, he's winning another. He's overall keeping up some nice strategic pressure. Although, of course, there's now going to be a very, very large problematic presence on the battlefield, and it rhymes with the Liger. Oh dear. What is this, Wolfenstein? Anyways. It looks like he's just going to wreck the T-34. Not going to recruit it or recover it. Bit of a shame, but I suppose that's ultimately his choice. Quick Pioneers up to repair. And there we go, T-34 is a wreck. Things quieten down a bit. T-34 is getting repaired. Well done, well done. Although I would suggest getting at least 2 more before taking on the Tiger tank. I mean, he's going to need some serious volume of fire to take on that Tiger tank. And there we go, veterans defeat for the Grenadiers. T-34 has already a damaged engine. And so in this regard, I mean, versus the Tiger tank, Guard's motor really would have been the best choice with marked vehicle. Then he would probably wouldn't need that many T-34s to just take it on, because again, every shot would do more damage, would mean overall more effective. And of course from front, I mean, the T-34s are not really going to have the best chance versus the Tiger. Veterans won for this one, which is lovely, I suppose, but still the Tiger's going to have the advantage. Tiger, though, is quick to pull back, not playing it too recklessly. That's actually nice from Armyguy right there. Pioneers holding up the right flank, but T-34 is quickly rolling in, ignoring the Tiger, going for the squishy targets. Well done, 0hmaddon. Prioritizing, figuring, well, he can't take on the Tiger right now. I might as well deal with what I can deal with, which is, in this case, is the considerably squishier Pioneers. And of course, in that case, he might also be able to draw away the Tiger from the front line. There we go. More T-34s on the way. He has to be slightly careful he doesn't get too caught up in things yet. This base, though, and gets wedged in by the Tiger tank. That would be a bit unfortunate. And looks like that, in fact, might happen. But still looks like he's very intent on getting the Pioneers and doing some damage to the Jaeger troops. And there we go, running them over, murdering them with the main gun. Lots of death and destruction. Now the question is, how does 0hmaddon get his T-34s out of here? As the Tiger rolls in, intent on carnage and destruction of the enemies of the Faserland. I mean, after the latest changes of the patch, I mean, the Tiger's really become a lot more useful. In particular against T-34s. And the Grenadier squad here could go down to the conscripts who got hit the dirt on them. But looks like the last Grenadier successfully made an escape. Though he might go down to the retreating T-34. No, he got lucky, it seems. Very lucky, and... oh dear. He just looks so wrong. So wrong!
Yeah, that was too close! Taking fire!
Another hit the dirt there. And of course, you'll see that relief infantry is available for Mr. Armyguy, and he might want to considering the sort of losses he's suffered. He needs something to quickly supplement all the infantry losses he's suffered. He needs something to quickly get some more boots on the ground. Otherwise, things could very well easily go to the advantage of 0hmaddon if he can leverage much more units against him, because again, otherwise the Tiger's tank is going to be able to hold nothing, and of course, will be easily overwhelmed. And in that sense, I mean, the strategy that 0hmaddon is employing is basically hunting down all the easy targets, which don't have any anti-tank, and of course, in that sense, the Tiger can't protect them all. So if 0hmaddon keeps that up, he might actually be able to win this. Although we do see the Pack 40 now has been recruited, that would make things a lot more difficult. A lot more. But certainly a nice strategic appreciation here from 0hmaddon. Though he might then decide to throw it all the way to go after the Tiger nonetheless. But at least he's going after the rear armor. He's not going for a head-on engagement. That's good. Of course, he's going to need to get behind the Tiger tank. And of course, that's going to be where the troubles will arise. In particular, as he's pulling it back towards the Pack 40 to make it harder to flank. Nice move there, by the way, by Armyguy. Nice move. Tiger tank almost down to half health. So of course, I mean, all of these T-34s are not useless against the Tiger, but it does require some tactics. Oh dear, Veterans one, Blitzkrieg up, and he's actually Blitzkrieging with his Tiger. God in Himmel. Someone's actually using his Tiger to Blitzkrieg, and then he proceeds to expose the rear armor. That perhaps was less well thought out. But still, doing some damage, and then of course quickly pulling out from this nasty situation, but he's down to half health. Another T-34 down, but only abandoned. That's definitely an opportunity here for 0hmaddon to get back in the fight, and I do believe it's also time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is 50-50, and we're seeing a huge recovery with a lot of panzer gunners coming out here for Armyguy, but still, relief infantry would be nice, but we're seeing him still having just pushed back his opponent through the sheer might of the Tiger, and the fact that 0hmaddon has not quite been able to sort of leverage them properly against it, and perhaps, you know, should not have gone for it, instead build up a more larger force of T-34s while trying to punish all the rest of the infantry. But for now, good, nice pressure in the center, also moving up some force to harass on the flanks. That's good, but he needs to, you know, put some more uses into other abilities, like, you know, relief infantry, sort of build up a force that can, you know, keep the flanks covered a bit. At least that will be my thought. And of course, you need to keep that Tiger tank alive. If that Tiger tank goes down, it's going to be pretty much game over at this stage, because that's currently really all that is for Armyguy holding it together versus all of those T-34s. It's the only thing that's really keeping 0hmaddon in check. That is again the might of the Tiger of the Schwere Panzerabteilung. So of course, priority is going to be keeping that running at all times to ensure it doesn't get rendered destroyed, or for that matter, just combat inoperable. Of course, for 0hmaddon, the part is, you know, about trying to take it up. By the same time, he might also just want to consider again attacking every other target, going for the squishy targets, trying to deny as much infantry that can hold ground to Armyguy. And that chain could also work out. Otherwise, I mean, he's going to need a lot more T-34s, and he should have some guards infantry to button it up. In that way, he needs to get everything that could leverage this fight to his advantage. He needs everything, and should go for everything. because he didn't go for Guards motor, which rather means he doesn't have the more direct opportunity of just using Mark vehicle, which again probably would have made this a lot bloody easier. So that was a bit of a missed opportunity. Of course, he probably wasn't expecting a Tiger tank out from his opponent, so I suppose that has to be forgiven. But let's return to the fight. Let's see how this actually carries on. The Tiger tank, though, is going to need some repairs. That's going to be Schnell.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Still keeping up the pressure on different parts of the map. Good, good. Although looks like some conscripts have suffered an unfortunate end. And there we go, repairing, getting the T-34 back, which of course means he's back to 3. In fact, he might also be close to getting 1 veteran G2, which would definitely aid him as well. Overall, I mean, 0hmaddon has actually done quite well and is actually preserving his T-34, which is, you know, not something everybody does. They tend to throw them away a bit silly. But not 0hmaddon. He's actually doing his best to preserve them, keeping them in one piece, and slowly that way build up an armoured force. So that is definitely commendable from 0hmaddon. Very much commendable. And there we go, finally some Guards infantry, although a bit bloody late. At the same time, we're seeing tactical movement utilised, probably to get some pioneers up to repair this Tiger tank. That was a good move overall. And probably ought just to rush to other points as well.
How can we help? We claimed it for the fatherland.
And there we go, T-34 almost repaired. Other T-34s are moving away. Not going to deal with the Tiger tank right away. And our Panzerfaust impacts with the frontal armour. Less good.
Awaiting orders. Territory taken. Push on. Schützen here. Infantry can march double time at your command.
Seems that slight earlier thing has thrown Fraps off by a wee bit, but not too much. And there we go, building up the T-34 force again.
Yes. We are in contact with the enemy. Pioneers.
But making ready for a large northern push, which currently Armyguy is rather undefended against. Lacking pretty much anything to stop this move with all those T-34s. Tiger tank, though, is soon combat ready again. Well, he's fully repaired. Still all those things moving northwards.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And the pioneers getting hunted down right there. Nice aggressive move there from the T-34s. No mines at all to stop them, nor for that matter any mines from the Soviets to stop any Tiger tanks from advancing. 4 T-34 pioneers got wiped out. Second Tiger arriving. Also pretty much maxed out in terms of pop cap now. Only 8 points left. I mean, Tigers now really drain a lot. We're talking 24. Which does also mean, again, they also provide a huge manpower drain. And now we're seeing a full-on assault going into the centre. All T-34s rolling in. But now things are going to get a bit dangerous. There are 2 Tiger tanks up and there's a pack 40 as well. 1 T-34 is always getting hammered with Panzerdex. This is really turning awful for 0hmaddon. A nice idea, but the problem was he had Armyguy focused everything there, and which rather meant this became a bit of a trap, a bit of a kill zone. Pushing on nonetheless. Relief infantry actually pops up now. And there we go, assaulting with the Panzer Grenadiers. Trying to engage the Tiger from the front with T-34s is not really the best idea, to be honest. Guards, oh, nice grenade there! Just almost run out one squad, but also caused another trooping squad to be reformed. Or reformed, all in all. T-34s actually have this Tiger tank close to no health at all. But ultimately, again, a frontal engagement between Tigers and T-34s is really going to be the advantage of the Tiger tanks. And there we go. The Tigers are really doing a serious amount of damage to 0hmaddon. But he was close to getting 1 Tiger, but again, the whole frontal engagement really doesn't work. And certainly would not work without, at the very least, having the Guards motor Mark vehicle ability up. pulling back again. Relief infantry still running. And safely pulling back the Tiger tanks. And the Osttruppen on the move. The thing to remember about the T-34 was partly it was designed in 1934, when it was actually a pretty revolutionary design, but by 1944 was a bit lacking afterwards, and also largely that it was never really intended to take on other tanks as such. Tanks dealing with other tanks in a more specific manner was actually something the Germans thought up. Most other people generally tend to think tanks were, well, specifically meant for dealing with infantry, fortified structures and whatnot. And this Osttruppen squad needs to get out of there while it is in cover. The troops opposing it are veterans too, and are hitting the dirt, and with submachine guns these Osttruppen need to get out of there and quickly do so. Without really achieving much, sadly. And a veteran G2 Tiger. I think that's the first time I've seen one, to be honest. But now lots of guards infantry being lined up, but on the other hand lacking in tanks. On the other hand, making good progress in the north that way. That's good, it's the victory point ticking down, and I do believe it might be time to have a look at 0hmaddon, to be honest, actually. Slightly thrown off by some things here. Again, all the slightly older thing from Fraps. My apologies again. Shouldn't be too noticeable, I hope.
Objective secured. We will defend it to the death.
There we go, another T-34 arriving, and of course also noting the veteran T2-1, which does mean it has increased damage. Plus actually takes less damage, which basically means that is a considerably more nasty T-34. Also noting out a bunker here, in fact a command bunker. Clearly Armyguy is saying this is the point where no one goes any further. And a nice southern push now. Again, he's not going directly in. He's not going to hammer his head against the wall. He's trying to sort of sneak about, going to see if he can't draw out Armyguy into an engagement that more favours 0hmaddon. And that's definitely a good move. That is definitely a good move. And there we go, the infantry moving out. They might in fact here be caught by the T-34s, but no, he's already moving them. Otherwise there was a nice chance of basically just hammering away. And actually this could be a nice spot for a grenade. And there we go. Grenade from the Guards infantry, right at the clumped up infantry. Gewehr 43's up. Oh, the Guards infantry did little. Instead they were the ones getting wiped up, and now the T-34's rolling up with the guns. Heavy losses inflicted on the German infantry. Another grenade goes off. Decimation is currently what we're seeing here of the 100 Jäger infantry's troops. Panzer Squad wiped out. Grenadier Squad could also be the next target. My apologies for the difficulties, technical. Had defragmented the hard drive last night, but apparently we'll need to do it again. I think that slight issue with Fraps might have messed things up a bit. Left things a bit scattered, but there we go. T-34's getting caught by the Tiger tanks. That's definitely not what they want. We also see that 0hmaddon is realising this, pulling back. Still, he was able to do a huge chunk of damage to Armyguy, really beating the stuffing out of his infantry. But with increasingly large Tiger force, of course, there's a problem. Though, of course, also note now the Tigers actually do a lot less damage to the T-34. And that sense, I mean, Soviet Veteran T2 is actually quite powerful. It doesn't just, you know, well, armor vehicle Veteran T2, but, I mean, it doesn't just increase the damage, which is always a nice bonus, it also makes them harder to knock out. And of course, one thing to remember is, of course, the T-34's veteranry up faster. So if you know what you're doing and you get a bunch of those, you can actually do a lot of damage to your opponent. And there you go, finally some buttoning going on, but for now it's a bit too late since the Tiger tank's already in the base. Anti-tank grenade hitting the engine, but there's not enough to really do the damage, do the deed. Instead, we are in fact seeing the Tiger tanks pulling out. German infantry moving up to support. Nicely done there. Still, the Soviet player is continuing to, you know, move about the edges to continually apply pressure everywhere else as well, and that's good. And that does mean that on 0hmaddon's shoulders there's actually a good head attached. There were just some problems, which ultimately has shifted things in the favour of Armyguy.
Good work, your orders, comrade. Now belongs to us.
New units have arrived.
We are awaiting orders.
D-34, crewed, loaded, and ready.
The enemy has 300 points remaining.
Run for cover!
Your predecessor died a hero.
Where do you need us?
And small engagement down south. Panzer supported by a squad of Osttruppen.
Enemy is encroaching.
Already veterans you won.
We have been rewarded for bravery.
T-34 ready.
And those T-34s are going to take some time to repair. If only he had gone guard's motor.
We have it.
He died like a hero.
Gewehr for the 3 Grenadiers, of course, is always nasty. I mean, once the hit veterans are free, they are absolute beasts.
Aim fire on this position. We are ready. Once, comrade. We are bleeding, comrade. Field promotion.
And the Pack 40 got wiped out. Tanks won't be anywhere near to help, though, and that means rather the tanks... Oh! Going in after the Pack. A nice idea, but ultimately lacking support, which rather means the Pack 40 is going to be an easy target. Quickly focused out, and there we go. Wrecked utterly. The idea was nice, but it was lacking something extra in execution.
You have orders?
Very nasty work there with the 2 Tiger tanks, keeping them together, having them work in a pair. Well done, Mr. Armyguy.
What do you need?
T-34, the enemy is taking what we have secured.
And the Grenadiers got a bit too clever for their own good. Oh, got them wiped out. I have no idea why I didn't retreat them quickly there.
T-34, ready for action.
We are awaiting orders.
Close to being able to call in another T-34, and indeed he does. Indeed he does. Points ticking down. Speeding things up a bit, just a wee bit.
100 points. Do not let this trend continue.
Back to Armyguy, who looks like he might be saving up for a 3rd Tiger tank.
Panzerkampfwagen Tiger awaiting orders.
And certainly where 1 Tiger succeeds, another one's definitely going to do better, and 3 are certainly going to be top class. Though, of course, for an opponent it might be a bit intimidating, but then, of course, you want to intimidate your opponent, so nothing wrong about that. Though I will say this is a bit rare to see that many Tigers, and again to see a veteran T2 Tiger.
The enemy is taking our territory.
And volleys of high explosive shells flying out here against the Panzer as Tigers are moving in. Full steam ahead. And of course from the front, the chance of actually doing anything is rather slim. We do see one getting buttoned up, but still they retrain from the front. And that's where 0hmaddon rather commits his mistake. The major one in this match, which is rather continuing not trying to flank, but constantly just duking it out in the front of it, which is really only to the advantage of the Tiger with its heavy frontal armour. And there we go, T-34's now actually going to try and flank, but are also going to rush straight into the Panzer Grenadiers. But still, at least he does it now. Anti-tank round flying away, but already here that Armyguy sensing what's going on, of course, having seen this from infantry. And we actually seen Kanonenfugen being called into support. Well done, well done. Also knowing the other Tiger tanks reach veterans 1. And now we've got the 3rd Tiger tank. A full platoon of Tiger tanks. This is a nightmare for any Soviet. And certainly pretty rare to see a 1 versus 1, but when it happens, it's glorious. Certainly first time I've seen it. T-34 cooked up. T-34's trying to escape. He could try and blitzkrieg with both of them. and basically sort them out that way. And there we go, in fact, Blitzkrieg ahoy! Increasing the speed, making it harder to hit, but there we go, quick buttoning up going in from the other Guards infantry. Tiger tank rolling in, third Tiger tank rolling in. Bad news for the Soviet Army, for the 25th Tank Corps. And another T-34 down. Last T-34 likely going down in a moment. And there we go. Just an absolute massacre now with the presence of 3 Tiger tanks. Pretty much with Colt being steamrolled. Even the sheer amount of the machine guns can just cut down the infantry now. And I'm just going to speed this up since it's pretty much just game over here. Not really much that 0hmaddon can do. And the Guards infantry themselves are just getting murdered. Bet 3 conscripts don't really stand much of a chance either. And this Tiger tank is in fact close to veterancy 3. I mean, that would be the first veterancy 3 Tiger I've ever seen in a game if that happens. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much just a slaughter. No real reason to watch it, I suppose, except just to note how much they just keep on killing now. And there we go. Game over. A loss for the Soviet Union, for the 25th Tank Corps, victory for the 100 Jäger Division, supported by the 503 Schwere Panzerabteilung. Brutal fighting early on, midways on. The problem rather came when we sort of hit the mid-game mark. Certain things didn't mesh together for 0hmaddon. I mean, he had the good unit preservation, he had some good armor tactics, he really used his T-34s in some pretty good ways, not just, you know, trying to slug it out with the Tiger tanks. The problem was he didn't really have the doctrine to really, you know, back it up. He should have gone for Guards motor, he should have used his Guards infantry a lot more aggressively early on. In fact, had some there to really support it, except that didn't happen. The other problem was when later on he just sort of became a bit more desperate, which rather led to slug up matches with the Tiger tank, which really is only to the advantage of the Tiger tank. With the T-34s, you want to flank, you always want to flank. So that was a bit of a problem there. I mean, otherwise he used his T-34s to in effect really devastating Armyguy's infantry. And of course, I mean, Armyguy rather set himself in a tenuous position by in fact relying on Tigers that much. I mean, a lot of his other parts of the map were very, very weak. Undefended, he suffered a lot of that. And against any other player, in fact, well, against a lot better player, of course, things might have gone a lot more rockly because, again, he was trying to rely on the Tiger tank. Of course, 0hmaddon might also have benefited early on from some mines when he actually had the larger advantage. Again, some players do tend to forget mines, and again, mines can play a nice role. But of course, we do see here that Armyguy, you know, he didn't just play rubbish. I mean, it was, you know, bold, aggressive play, but it actually paid off. Panzer were involved, and he actually used a lot more of his doctrine than 0hmaddon did, and it certainly paid off a lot better with the Jäger light infantry upgrades, tactical movement to quickly pioneers to get up to repair, relief infantry, Tiger tanks, and of course even, you know, Stuka close air support, whereas 0hmaddon didn't quite, you know, use as much as his. Later on there was some hit the dirt, but, you know, otherwise it was mostly submachine guns, and even then, you know, it didn't quite have that effect against the Tiger tanks. Guards rifle were barely used, and certainly the howitzer and the Sturmgewehr attack weren't used at all. So in that sense, I mean, Armyguy did use his doctrine a lot more, and again, I do have to question if 0hmaddon went for the right doctrine. Again, I think Guards motor wouldn't be there to charge again with the Mark vehicle, which would have given him much more out of his T-34s and likely would have resulted in the destruction of the Tiger tanks, because again, that would really have been able to expose the weakness, which was it would have been on its own. And with Mark vehicle, I mean, it's really useful against singular large targets. But of course it's a bit hard to predict. I suppose you know that your opponent is going to go for the Tiger tank that way. But certainly, I mean, even then, I mean, if you're going for a lot of T-34s, go for something that actually works in their direction, which again would have been, in his case, Guards Motor, since he didn't have any other doctrines that were really minded towards that. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not replay beyond? Provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.